Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick-and-mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I'm passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love, because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you are meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Inspire and Move podcast. I am your host, Ali Aruda, and I am so pumped to welcome today's very special guest who holds many relationship titles in my life. She is a client not only at Benchmark Fitness, she is a business coaching client of mine, and most of all, she is a friend. So please welcome to the show, Hailey Brown.
Hi, I'm here.
And you guys, I have two exciting things to share before we really dive into the conversation. This is Hailey's inaugural podcast.
It is.
I love that. The competitive nature of me.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Hailey is also very similar to my recent guest, Chloe Blakeburn, who was on, who also declined my podcast invites, not once, but twice.
Yeah, this is a long time coming.
Yeah, we are winning all around.
Yes.
And Hailey is the visionary and the founder of Sleek by Hailey, who, if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I love her hair extensions, both sewn in and clip-ins, as well as all the accessories. So
Thank you.
I love a lot of things about Hailey Brown, and I'm really excited to have her here.
Thank you.
So welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. This is good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to start at the, I'm going to say quote unquote beginning, not like you were a fetus beginning, but beginning, because your story is just so cool. There's so many layers to it. And I know we have a really cool evolution of what we're going to talk about today. But let's start back in sort of, the high school to college years, because actually Matt, who is here in studio with us filming, before he met you, he had done some research on you, and he wrote me this text. He's like, "Oh my gosh, Hailey played basketball for Michigan." So cat out of the bag, everyone, but Hailey's going to tell you her story.
Yeah. No, that's so funny. I think it feels like it's such a long time ago.
No, it's not that long
but
ago.
It's not that long ago.
No.
A lot of great memories from high school. So I went to my St. Thomas More in Hamilton, Catholic school. I was there for grade 9 to 11. And then in grade 12, I participated in the OSBA. So it was basically a prep school for basketball players. And I went to school in Brantford. So I moved to Brantford for a year, really trying to lock in and focus. I had a big summer with Team Canada coming up and a huge summer with Michigan and just preparing for freshman year. So, with that, I kind of sacrificed my senior year of high school with all of my friends and stuff, but I was preparing for something greater. So after I graduated, which was 2017.
The violin for me over here. I feel so old.
2017, I had a huge summer. 2017, I think, was one of the best years of my life. Like, so many things, a lot of new beginnings. It was very exciting. Obviously, graduating high school, like you as a senior, you're eager to get into like the next phase of, I say college, but Canadians, we say university. In the States, they say college. So if you hear me say college, that I'm referring to obviously university. Summer of 2017, I was in the World Championship with Team Canada. So we actually won bronze. That was history for the country. And then the following weeks after I came back home from being in Europe, I went back to Europe with Michigan for our foreign trip. So I did Italy and Greece. And then I was there until 2017. I graduated in 2021. So that's kind of like the short. There's obviously so much that happened in between all of that. But yeah, that wraps up my high school and college, I guess.
What was the transition knowing that obviously, okay, you have your Team Canada experience. Were you hand selected for Michigan? Did you choose Michigan? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know this, but my top schools, I was recruited heavily. I was a top recruit out of the country. At one point, I was the number one recruit in Canada. So
yeah, girl.
Yeah, I was recruited heavily. I'm not sure what the process looks like now with NIL, but you can go on like unofficial visits. Like I went in grade 11, and then grade 12, I took my official visits to schools that I was seriously considering. And then my top three ended up being University of Michigan, Duke, and Florida State. So I visited all three of them early September, and I fell in love with Michigan. Like I knew I loved it for my unofficial visit, which was the following year before in grade 11. But when I took my official visit and I had some of my family members there, it just felt like home. And even now when I go back, it still feels like home. I have a great relationship with the coaches and everyone that recruited me. So it's just home to me.
Okay, I need to know more about this official visit. It's like listening to this, it feels like what I would have done to visit a university campus. But I feel like as a high level athlete, it's got to be different. So
it's more.
Spill the beans on what this visit means.
So your official visit, that is everything you could ever ask for. They pay for travel, all accommodations. You're staying in the best hotels. You are treated like a queen.
Love this.
Because of course the schools are trying to impress you. So they take care of your family. Like you're a high roller when you're on your official visit. It's amazing. You do photo shoots. You do your tours. You're meeting academic people at the school. Well, at Michigan, which that was a selling point.
Amazing.
You're just getting like the best experience that you possibly can because they're trying to sell you. They're trying to recruit you. So you're getting the absolute best experience of seeing the university during like a weekend on your official visit.
So you had 3 official visits?
I had 3.
1 at Michigan, 1 at Duke, and 1 in Florida.
And they were all amazing.
Was Michigan the best? Yeah.
Michigan was...
You got to be honest.
I will be honest. I'm trying not to sound biased. Yeah. And I think it was also cool because I took an unofficial visit the year before. So I already knew a little bit. I already connected with some of the players. The coaches were in my life recruiting me since like probably grade 9. So I had kind of relationships. I've seen them, familiar face and stuff like that. But when I came back, it was like, hey guys, I'm back again.
I love that.
Yeah.
So unofficial visit, like you're slumming it, you're on your own, you're paying for your own dinners.
Unofficial visit, I honestly think the main thing is you just have to pay for your travel expenses. But like going to Michigan, it's a 3-hour drive. So that was easy for us.
And I love that you sort of mentioned this, and I know that you and I actually talk a lot about this in training. I think it is amazing that you still have such an incredible relationship with Michigan, and I know that's evolved into some cool new things from a entrepreneurship standpoint.
Yeah.
But all the coaches are still there?
Yes and no.
Or they move on or switch schools?
It's popular for it's common, for assistant coaches and stuff to move. Mm-hmm. So actually the head coach, Kim Barnes-Rigo, she's still there. She's really transformed the program. So she's still there. The assistant coaches that the main one that recruited me, she wasn't there, but there was another one, Coach Mel. She left and came back. So she's there again now. Everyone else is new.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love hearing you talk about your teammates because you talk with so much love and admiration about them. Yeah. And I think it is really cool. It's one thing that I actually really love. Like, for any of you listening that wonder, like, what's Allie's background in sports? It's not very extensive. I played sports for a few years in more like junior high, because then you kind of get to a point where are you going arts or are you going sports? Yeah. I went arts, more of like musical theater and all that. But one of the things I love so much about sports, whether it is, university, college, and certainly like professional sports, is the companionship amongst teammates and the accountability. And I mean, obviously Matt was just really into the Toronto Maple Leafs playoffs, and he'll tell me these things, and what the team captains are doing, I think is just so admirable, and it really stands out to me. Yeah. Can you tell me about your experience with teammates and what that has meant for you and how it's impacted you from a relationship standpoint?
Yeah, I'm grateful. Like I'm close with all of my teammates still. Like my teammates, whether it's from Team Canada, even like Team Ontario when I was playing then, my rep teammates, like my university teammates, these are people that I'll have in my life forever. And even if we don't talk often, I know at any moment in time, if I needed something, I could pick up my phone and say, I need help or I need this, like, can I come see you? Without a question, it would be like, absolutely. I think this is going to sound like kind of crazy, but we're in the trenches together. Like, people don't understand how hard it is to be a student athlete.
Because you're balancing your academics.
It's a lot.
A young life.
Yeah.
That you're trying to, make friends, or I don't know if you want a part-time job and relationship with your family, maybe a romantic relationship.
I remember like just being so far from understanding regular students' experience. Like, we had to have our classes in between 8 and we had to be done at 1 at the latest. And I'm finding out that like some of my friends that don't play sports, they have like night classes at 4. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even think about that because our schedules were so hardcore and it's just constantly go, 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 go. But I think that's amazing part of like having these relationships with your teammates is we can always go back to like these memories. And my junior and senior year, I dealt with COVID. So we were really in the trenches dealing with all of that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, talk me through a day because I love knowing people's daily routines.
Yeah.
And we'll probably touch on this like when we like move forward into the entrepreneurship part of your story. But as a student athlete, what did your day on average look like?
I'm a routine girly too. So It's probably going to sound crazy what I'm going to say, but like I like operating on a harsh schedule. Okay. So mornings, depending on what your, I guess, position was or what your coach wanted you to do, you could do workouts before class. So that would be like 7 a.m. Classes could start from 8 a.m. And like I said, you're in class until 1. Immediately after your 1 o'clock class, like you're driving, walking, getting the bus. I like to take the bus. So
grounded.
I took the bus to the gym. We would have practice. You have to be ready on court at 1:45. So think about like eating food. It's hard to do all of that. 2 o'clock sharp, practice starts. Really, you're there 1:45 getting prepped. Like doing your warm-up shots, touches, all of that. 2 o'clock, practice could be sometimes 3 hours. Like you could go 2 to 5. And then right after that, you have strength and conditioning. So you're 5 to maybe 6, like 6:30, grab a quick bite, go to study hall. You're there with tutors 7 to 9. And then you're not getting back to your dorm until honestly, sometimes 10 o'clock, depending on how much schoolwork you had to do. But then you're going to bed and doing the same thing the next day.
Wow. I mean, I do love a routine, so I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about Team Canada, we've talked about Michigan, and was that 4 years?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, then what? Do you all disperse? Like you and all your teammates, where does everybody go?
So I was, unfortunately, the only one in my class that stayed. So it was just me. So I can only talk about myself.
Well, you know what, Hailey? The good news is we are here to talk about you today.
Yeah. I'm like trying to think of what other people, some of my previous teammates that are younger, they played professionally.
Amazing.
A lot of corporate jobs. What I did after I graduated, I was in New York for a few years. And then I actually started my business. So I graduated May of 2021. And then I started my business, official like launch date in October of 21. But I was planning to go back to school in New York to get my master's. And I was fully like enrolled, ready to start in September. But then I really wanted to start my business, like really, really bad. I wasn't sure if it was like the right thing for me to do of going back to school, especially for what it was that I was going for. So late August, I ended up telling the school, like, this is not what I want to do. So, because at that point I was doing my business, preparing to launch my business, and was going to start school.
Overachiever.
So, I know. So at that point, I was like, I got to pick one. And my business, it feels really good right now. I want to be 100% committed with it. So yeah, that's what ended up happening for me.
Big crossroads. Either like, I'm going to go to do my master's or I'm going to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of entrepreneurial energy in your family.
Correct.
Was that something that you always felt even in college, that one day I want to be an entrepreneur?
I knew for sure. Like I knew I was going to have a hair extension company. So that in itself, I knew. But being around entrepreneurs, I'm sure some people would pick furthering their education over starting their business. But what I've been exposed to, being around other entrepreneur women, and being able to like grow up with that, I think it helped make my decision. And I don't really have regrets with it. So, I mean, if I want to go back, I can always go back to school.
Yeah.
Like, it's still there.
Still there. You can always change your mind and go back.
Yeah.
I mean, what a cool city to start a business in.
Yeah.
Was that something you even had a vision for? Like, I mean, I feel like New York is such a high energy city.
Yeah.
So much of everything is available to you.
Yeah.
Did that inspire you to be like, I'm living in New York, I'm soaking up all this energy, let's start a business here? Or is it just more of a timing where you trusted your gut?
It was a timing thing. It was kind of like wherever I was, it was going to happen. I just so happened to be in New York at the time.
Great city for the story.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are. We're in New York. Sleek
Yeah.
by Hailey is born.
Yeah.
And what is the why behind Sleek by Hailey?
Yeah. I'm really passionate about my business. Like, I think there can be times of you're looking at your competitors and you're like, I'm in a business that has successful companies in it as well. That's just the reality of it. And I'm like, well, I want to get myself to that level. And I'm proud of my business because I do think that Sleek by Hailey separates itself from other companies by our mission statement of diversifying the hair game. Like, I truly believe in representation. It's so important, especially for me. Like, I'm a biracial person, so I've experienced having to pick, like, on a form, like, what are you? And I have to select like other because I can't just select one thing. So representation really means a lot to me. And I just think diversity as well. So my business was kind of rooted off of like my own experiences from just a human, but then also the experiences that I had with hair extensions where I couldn't buy hair extensions from one company that offered everything that my hair is, whether it's curly, straight, whatever I wanted it to be. I would have to source it from different things. And I was like, this is the problem right here. We need to have better representation where women can come and buy whatever they need, get whatever they need. And like talking about hair can be a little bit vulnerable. Like, I know people have experiences, whether it's with their own hair, buying extensions, worrying about quality, like all of that stuff. So there were a lot of things that went into my business, but at the end of the day, it's rooted in my own experiences and belief.
That's the one thing I love so much, or that always just stands out to me when talking to entrepreneurs, when there is a quote unquote problem.
Yeah.
That you as a human can identify the problem that you're experiencing.
Yeah.
And that is the driving force behind your business. And clearly your mission statement is the why. Like, what is the problem and why do I want it? And let's find the solution and find this great product, this great lineup of products that diversify the hair game, and
Right.
you can be of service to a whole variety of people.
Yeah. And I think now too, we're seeing a shift, especially with the makeup industry, of being more inclusive. And I'm seeing it's slowly starting to trickle into the hair industry as well. But I'm like, yeah, this is what I've seen, and this is what I've experienced, and this is what I will continue to be vouching for because it's important. It's not just a one hair extension fits all type of thing. So yeah.
So how are you feeling right now? You know, you're not in New York anymore. You live in Burlington.
Yeah.
Plot twist. She doesn't live in New York.
I'm back home. Yeah.
And that was a couple years ago that you moved back here.
Yeah.
And so the business obviously moved with you because you service people all over because you're e-com,
Yep.
but have amazing partnerships with salons.
Yeah.
And what was that like to, start in New York and then move back to your roots?
I think coming back home has been nice, especially being able to work with salons or just be seeing more faces with people that actually have my hair extensions.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you have an e-commerce business, you're missing that connection with like your customers. So coming back home and seeing more familiar faces and stuff like that is super, super nice. But overall, like New York was good. I think globally I could be anywhere.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
What are some of the big lessons that you've learned in entrepreneurship so far?
It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think also with social media, there's a lot of glamorizing being a business owner without the people who are watching that understanding what actually goes into it. It's easy to fall into the trap of like, yeah, I can have a business, but can you actually? Do you know the time, the finances, like the planning, everything that goes into it? So I think that is what I've learned is just, it's not easy. It's not. You're constantly changing. You're constantly having to figure out ways to follow trends, to stay relevant. Like what's going on? What do people need? And people's needs always change. So it's a constant change all the time.
Oh my gosh, you nailed it. And I love that you said that about the glamorization, that people think that, oh my gosh, like she's on an airplane working on her laptop, Wi-Fi and a dream, must be so successful. But I'm actually in row 43 in the middle seat.
Yeah.
And I used points or, whatever it could be, the background behind it. And people are very quick to judge and make opinions and, share those opinions with other people. And this is like negative ripple effect.
Yeah.
Matt and I have been talking a lot recently about, we're getting excited about a really big new project. And with that, obviously, comes finances.
Yeah.
And I think it's so interesting. And I've really been opened to this a lot more in the last couple of years, largely because of masterminds that we've been in and rooms that we're getting in and conversations we're having when it comes to starting a business. And, when we bought Benchmark, we bootstrapped it. Like we figured out how to make this purchase and what that meant for us. Obviously, then you want to have a revenue generating business model.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting to see and hold space for how people start their business. If it is investors and what that looks like in terms of raising money and the questions you're going to have, accountability you're going to have. Are you getting a loan? Are you downsizing your house? Like it's so amazing to see the lengths at which people are committed to getting that money to start this business, and then the mindset behind it that failure is not an option.
Correct.
It's not a hobby.
Yeah.
And my best friend, I think I talked about this actually on a recent solo episode I did. And I've told you about my friend Kirsty, who owns Retrovi, a beautiful jewelry company based out of LA. When she moved to LA like 15 years ago, I just remember her so vividly saying to me that failure is not an option. Mm-hmm. And, on one hand, I believe that failures are great lessons. And I think there are things that people call failures that aren't actually failures. They're just challenges.
Yeah.
Or bumps in the road.
Yeah.
That so often you can learn from.
Yeah.
But if you have that North Star where your vision is so great and your commitment, your mission, your why, failure is not an option because like you, Sleek by Hailey, you have people to service.
Exactly. And I even think too, what I learned kind of going off of like the hard is things take time. Mm-hmm. Being an athlete, something that we're just used to is we want results now. That's what we're used to. I'm working. I want the results now. And I think having a business that you're still trying to grow, you have to understand, you have to let it grow. And for me, I'm really big on authenticity. I'm not here to buy followers, to buy views, I'm not here to do any of that. Like I want it to be a genuine brand.
Yeah.
So being able to work with that it's a shift in mindset for me from like an athlete to an entrepreneur of like, no, I actually need to be a little bit more graceful and give this time to grow authentically in the way that I want it to.
I love that. Has that been challenging for you?
Yeah. I'm not used to it.
Where would you say you are in that journey right now? Are you still working through that?
Still working through it, but I think it's gotten better just because the customers that we've had, like just being able to hear people's reviews and their overall experience, I think that kind of like helps me and it eases me a little bit of we're doing like this is the right thing. Like we're doing the right thing. And if it's going to take a little bit longer, that's okay because we're still providing services to people who need it. So there isn't a rush. Sure, there's goals that need to be met, but it's all about authenticity at the end of the day.
I think that's a great message for a lot of people to hear when it comes to authenticity in your business, how you show up in social media, conversations you have with people, whether it's in your business or just in life.
Yeah.
and having that as a bit of a North Star or a brand pillar of how you are sharing your business, product, service, content, all of that.
Oh yeah, I'm really big on authenticity. Like all the extensions at my company,
Yeah.
I vetted them, okay? Every extension I use. So that's another thing. If I'm going to put my face behind something, I need to be able to say and walk into any room and be confident about the products. So
Can we just have a sidebar moment for telling people that you have a hair closet?
yes, I do have a hair closet. It's still a work in progress.
Like just for context, like how many options?
I have a lot of hair extensions. Like I don't know what the number is.
More than 2 dozen.
Easily.
3 dozen?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's great. I wish we had BTS.
But it's like, this is when you have your own business, like,
yeah.
I
have a lot of sneakers.
Exactly.
You actually probably
workout sets.
Yes.
Think about that.
I will.
Yeah. So I'm like, of course I'm going to have a lot of hair extensions.
I love
I'm not going to get extensions from somebody else.
No. I mean, I have 2 sets of hair extensions. And they're both Sleek by Hailey and they're for 2 different occasions.
Yeah.
Clip in or someone else has to put them in for me.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, I want to, because I'm so excited to dive into some other stuff, but I just want to touch on something that you already mentioned about really the relationship between being a high-level athlete and now an entrepreneur. Has there been, challenges? Yes, but also similarities. Are there things that you learned in college as a high-level athlete that you have been able to apply as now being an entrepreneur?
I think something that's so underestimated when it comes to playing in sports, being an athlete, being on a team, and of a high level, is the ability to communicate, the ability to stand tall, be confident. Like when you're on the basketball court, you're confident. Like no one's better than you. And I think being able to have that mindset with a business really transfers well. Making connections, like reaching out to people, just being confident in that. I think they go hand in hand for sure.
I love that. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, it would mean so much to me if you took a few seconds and shared this on social media, sent it to a friend, or left a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I'm so grateful to have you part of mine.